everybody, and welcome along to League of Europe Season 8. This is Division 3 and we are at round number 7 of the Championship, and we head to the home of British Motorsport for the British Grand Prix. And kind of a sad plus memorable moment this week. It's been a bit strange, so it's quite nice to go to this circuit to race tonight, but I'm sure the drivers will be giving it their absolute all, because there will be a bit of an emotional connection tonight, especially for the British drivers on the grid. My name is GeForce, and joining me in the commentary box is, of course, my good friend, Mr. Evil Dragon. How you doing?
Good. I've got, for some reason, my computer decided to put music on in the background, and I can't figure out to turn it off, so I'll figure that out in a minute. But I'm here in this beautiful day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, of which, like you said, Jess, an emotional day for the British drivers, being at the home circuit. But we'll get on to that in a little bit as well, as we pay tribute to the Queen before qualifying. But, Jess, before that, we've got a lovely little bit of things to go through.
Yes, we do. We've got the standings to go through, but we'll first of all talk about the results from last week's race. We've had Singapore last week, which was really, really entertaining. I really enjoyed that race, to be honest. Thank goodness the weather didn't play too much havoc in the race last week, so otherwise it would have gone on forever. But there was quite a few safety cars, and Miss Evil Dragon also cursed the Alpines, and we cursed the Alpines on Wednesday in the league. So let's hope we don't curse them tonight, fingers crossed. So Ryan B, his second race in Division 3, he took a win. Actually, his third race in Division 3, but I can't count. He took the win last week. Mick finished in second, Matty finished in third, Chris fourth, Melty finished in fifth, MCR finished in 6th, Cam finished in 7th, Ghost in 8th, Major finished 9th, and Abode finished 10th. So those were your top 10. And obviously there were a couple of people that scored points in 11th and 12th. Liam, what does that do with the standings if you got that open?
I don't have the standings open, is the answer to that one.
Okay, I will go through the standings
then.
You
caught me off guard.
I'll go through the standings then, don't worry. I thought you had it open, but it was my fault. Anyway, Cam is leading the standings by 1 point over Chill in second. Chris in third on 72 points. Abode in fourth on 51 points. Mick in fifth on 49 points. MCR is 6th on 44. 7th is Ryan B with 43, considering that he joined midway through the season in Division 3. That is pretty good going. Harry F on 31 in 8th, and Eddie 9th on 30 points, and in last place is Matty with 28 points. So those are your standings. Quite a few drivers not doing as well. Melty had a nice comeback through the field despite us cursing quite a bit, but there were certain drivers like like Abode, who could have been up there, but he got unlucky as well. But Chris managed to capitalise. Matty got one of his best results of the season, and we're almost halfway through the season, and it's already shaping up to be very close already, in particular with our top 3.
Yeah, most certainly is. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the rest of this season is, of course. It's 18 rounds, I think. I think it's 18. It might not be. I think it is. So I'm going to say it is, and if it's not, then it's not my fault. But a lot of drivers, hopefully, Jess, I don't curse 2 Alpines tonight, because I did that the last 2 commentaries I did, and I think they're going to murder me.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed the French team does well in the UK.
Exactly. Well, we do. I think we have both Alpines tonight.
We do?
Yeah, we do have both Alpines tonight.
Jelly McJellyface.
Yeah, Jelly. The last time you commentated on him was Division 4 last year, and
it didn't go well for him.
No, it didn't go well for him. Melty's not here tonight. That's why he is filling in. Let me go through the other reserves whilst we wait for the lobby to start. We've got Marty, who's back. He was in the Alpine last week, and he's in the Aston Martin this week, replacing a Letty. So let's hope we don't curse Marty, otherwise he's going to murder us, I think. So yes, we cursed quite a few people, but yeah. But anyway, we are about to get going for the race, which is good news. So it gives us a perfect opportunity to raise a tribute to a lady who was very, very special to everyone's heart in the UK and in the Commonwealth and even the world as well. Unfortunately, we found out at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday the death of Queen Elizabeth II. She died peacefully in Balmoral on Thursday with her family beside her. And she did a lot to our country, and she was head of state of quite a few countries as well. I even had a chance to meet her, even if it was a couple of loads of meters away in Bury St Edmunds back in 2002. Quite a special moment. She took to the throne in 1952, was on the throne for 70 years. We celebrated the Platinum Jubilee back in June as well. And there were many wars back then, the Cold War, and also dealt with 15 prime ministers, starting with Winston Churchill, who was born in 1874, and including the one that got elected a few days ago, Liz Truss. He was born in 1975, and yeah, now King Charles III is now the king. And yeah, no matter what happens, I think everybody should pay their respects to the Queen, because she was a remarkable young lady, one of the greatest leaders of all time. She didn't have any bias to anyone, including politics, which was great to see. And she adored the most awesome things, including cows, believe it or not. She had a smile on her face, and even a sketch with Paddington Bear as well. So there is our little tribute to that. And before we go to qualifying, we're just going to take a minute's silence on stream to mark the tribute to our late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I really hope you can join us with this tribute. Thank you very much. Right, so that was our minute silence done, and thank you to our late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for all your service to the UK and across the world. So, we are in qualifying in Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. First used in Formula 1 back in 1950, but I'm sure Miss Evil Dragon will go through a little bit more detailed facts just a little bit later on, of course. Many great overtaking opportunities throughout here, especially towards the Wellington Straight heading into Brooklands as well, which you can actually see the building called Brooklands, which I didn't know about until someone pointed out to me earlier on this year. But Chill's the first man on the lap, 1 point behind the championship leader Cam as well. He just seems to get unlucky sometimes in some races. Could this be the race where he wins at a very sad but memorable weekend for British people?
Yeah, in fact, it could be, and you're wondering who told you that? It was me. I told you that. The John Brooklyn sign that's currently, well, at Brooklands, on the, it's the BRDC, well, I don't think it's the BRDC building anymore. It was the BRDC building. I think the BRDC building's in Brooklyn. It's a bit further on. It's a big white building. It's kind of circular. I'll tell you if I see it, but
we did
just
see
coming
it on
down
stream
into Stoke. quick braking zone then is to come down into Stowe, then into Vale, and then of course it's the Club Chicane, which is this little complex right here. It's the left and the double right here. So through the exit of Club, and then of course down the Hamilton Street, past the grandstand on the left and the giant big building on the left as well, which does exist there in real life now. And chill, fast lap in this session right now. And yeah, so Silverstone, first hosting a race back in 1948. Now, a lot of people think Silverstone, oh, it's 1950. No, 1948, the first ever race held around Silverstone on a circuit which looked a lot different than it did now, because they called it a woodcut to Cop, pretty much the same thing, but instead of doing Cop's Corner and going down to where Maggots and Beckett, you went down, of course, the giant runways, which are currently pretty much where the loop section is, roughly, where, of course, turn 1, 2, and 3 are nowadays, so pretty little bit of symbolism right there, but chill, fastest on this session. Jasper in second, Jelly in third, Harry from the Ramsam, Maverick from Ghost, Mr. YY is currently in 8th, Ryan in 9th, Major in 10th, Chris Tibos, and the rest still to set lap times, but of course, 1948, the first ever race here. Of course, 1950, first ever F1 race around a circuit, which very much something different today. The start line, to be fair though, start line actually pretty much where it is today, of course, just before Abbey, which, if you do know, just before Abbey right now is where we are today, just at a club down Abbey Curve, so that is where it used to be. From 1952 to 1974, of course, the historic Silverstone, the one which you'll see a lot in games like Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, as well, a few other games as well. That is the circuit you'll often see around that. The original Silverstone lasted up until 1990. A few changes, of course. Lovefield came introduced, but of course, 1991, the more modern version of Silverstone came, and of course, that had the Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel complex. Of course, before that, it used to just be a left and one single right. Now it's a left, right, left, right, left, as well. That's undergone a few changes, of course, from 1991 really up to 2009. After 2009, it went to the layout we see pretty much from today, of course. The circuit which has the pit lane at exit of Club. And, of course, as well as that, the little loop section in the midfield, which I don't like because I prefer the bridge section. Because I'm old. Well, to be fair, I'm not that old because I've spent more of my life knowing the new version, the old version, but you shush. So there we go. Jess, on the other hand, you were born just about more of the old layout than the new layout, which sorry to make you feel old.
Yes, I was born in 95, and I remember the old layout was used when Lewis Hamilton take a very commanding win back in 2008 in the changeable conditions, and he was very good in the wet as well, and he took a different setup compared to everybody else. He thought he may as well give it a go, and it worked, and there was a big crowd of fans cheering him on, and that was a very emotional moment, not going to lie, because he tried to win, I think, the year before, but he couldn't, but he won in 2008, which was very, very good. So that was the Grand Prix I knew very well in that layout. Also, F1, I think it was either 94, 95, might be 94 actually, where Damon Hill won his first British Grand Prix race with that layout as well. Quite a few other British drivers have won, of course, in Formula 1. Obviously, Graham Hill, Jim Clark. Geordie Herbert's actually won a race, believe it or not, which was quite 95. Good as well. Yeah, 95 he won that race in the Donington, I believe. Or was it? I can't remember what car he was in. But
it was the Donington.
It was the Donington. I was right. I was not imagining things, which is great to see. But here we're on board with Mick as we head towards Cops Corner. Oh, yeah, that was definitely an invalidation there. You don't go wide in Cops. Now, there's some setups where you can. You don't have to lift, whereas the setup I've got, well, you have to lift a little bit, because otherwise you would die and end up spinning into a wall. But as Matt Tibbleton always run that. Here's anyone on laps at the moment. Matty is, who's going through into the Wellington Straight very, very soon as well. In the Mercedes, of course, who has won many British Grand Prix in his lifetime as well. And there was one British Grand Prix, believe it or not, which was called the European Grand Prix in Donington, which I still think is a very nice circuit, not gonna lie. I believe was Brands hatched once racing Formula 1? Yeah, I was right there. And quite a few more as well, but it's obviously Silverstone has been, I think, the main prominent figure of Formula 1 in British motor racing, and obviously F2 race there as well, F3 and W Series as well. So Matty, then he goes right, then he goes into left into 7th gear, and then heading in towards Chapel as well. And make sure you don't go close to the grass as much as you can, because you'll end up invalidating. Quite a bit of traffic as he heads towards Stowe Corner. He's using quite a lot of battery, but most of that can be taken at full throttle. So I think a lot of ERS management is going to be very, very key around here today. Of course, we don't know what the weather is. Fastest lap time at the moment is chill with a 1:27.4. What can Matty do? Can he beat that? No, he can't, but still a very impressive lap time from the Mercedes driver. A 1:27.816, and Jelly is involved with a 1:27.892. He's on the run at the moment. Anyone else going to be on the run now? Chris. I think Chris, and we've got Jasper on the run as well, who's about almost 2 tenths up in the middle sector. He's got to find quite a bit of time, like 4 tenths to get pole, which isn't easier said than done, but you never know, he could find all that time in that final sector. Well, 1:27.6. I think he lost about a tenth in that final sector, but still that keeps him into P2. And then we have an AlphaTauri going into the pits because he's probably invalidated. White goes up to the line, 7 tenths up, which puts him into P10. I believe there's a Williams, which is, I'm trying to figure out Harry F, that's it. Harry F up to the line, he's not going to improve, he's invalidated. So those are your next runs so far. We've got a few more to cross the line. Matty's backed off, and I think McLaren is going into the pits. I think, yeah, that's Chris. So, yeah, interesting lap time so far, and only 4 people, Liam, in the 1:27s.
Yep, so far, only 4. Will they make that 5? No, is the answer, as goes across the line and goes up to 11, back, so he does improve, gets out of the way. Oh, that will be Marty going on a lap time right now, I believe, as he comes down then into Abbey Down Farm curve, down into the village, chuck into loop then, 2nd gear historically, sometimes he might take it in 3rd, up onto 5th on the exit, so I don't know if that's even just short drifting or an interesting thing. Then through Aintree Corner, of course, which used to host the British Grand Prix back in the 1950s, down the Wellington Straight, spot the braking zone into Brooklands on the right-hand side, the BRDC building, chuck it into Brooklands, then down into Luff for the long right-hander. What line do you want to take through here? There's quite a few lines, of course. He takes a bit of a shallow line, gets a good exit on the exit, and then down Woodcut he comes then. Little right-hand kick past the old start-finish line, and then spot the braking zone then. Well, it's not really braking zone anymore. A slight lift, kink it in then at 170 miles an hour through Cops Corner. Chuck it into the left then of Maggot, then chuck it right, back left then as you come into Beckett, and then hop over the curb on the inside line, straighten the car out on the left, take the shallowest line you dare as you come down then out of Chapel, down the hangar straight, past where of course the hangars used to be. Of course it used to be a Royal Air Force base back in the World Wars. Down into Stoke, chuck it right, keep the car in the track limit, then open the steering up, take the shortest line you can, down into the vehicle complex, then left, then right into Club, and then it's the Hamilton Straight, the last real little bit of cornering here. Exeter Club, up to the line for Marty, goes P1 there, 1:27.1, puts him 3 and a bit temps. Quicker than chilling, that's exactly what he wanted to do. Behind him, Mick, also on a lap time, also purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. Through Stowe comes a Ferrari then, lights ablaze. Here in Silverstone, 1 British team on the top, but it's the prancing horse that's hoping to take them. Well, the gallop out of it then, through the last corner, then see then. From Ferrari, can he do it? No, he can't, because he loses the rear, goes to 9, lost about 4 or 5 temps there through that one. That might have put him up around about 6th, 5th position, but lost the rear end in the last corner, dropped a lot of time. He got a few others on lap times as well. I think Major's backed out and got Maverick in the pit lane as Mick drops it through the exit of Aintree Corner. Of course, one of the former hosts of the British Grand Prix. A few others, by the way, spring to mind. We've got, of course, Silverstone, Aintree, Brands Hatch, Donington Park, as well. I think there's 1 or 2 others. I shall go and have a look in a few moments. But bit of a mistake from Mick, but it's Marty Jess in the Aston Martin, the Brit, the quintessential British team here, even though it's Canadian currently. We'll have the Aston Martin. No, I don't know if it's still British. I think it's German. Or Indian,
to be honest, Liam, their factory is the closest to Silverstone out of all the teams in Formula One. Yep, so used to be obviously Racing Point, then it was Force India, then it was... well, we're not going to go too much on what they were, but they were loads of teams.
Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, go on it, because we have a bit of a lull.
Between 1991 and 2005, of course. Then it became MF1, which, of course, that's Midland, in 2006. 2007, it became Spiker, and 2008, it became Force India. That lasted up until 2018, where it became Racing Point, of course, and since then it has now became Aston Martin. So there you go, there is your history on F1. I like doing this. Last time I went to Silverstone, I went through the interesting things. So we've got a Jordan currently in P1, we've got a Minardi in P2, a Ferrari in P3, we've got...
a Tyrrell?
Yeah, Tyrrell. It would be Tyrrell, yeah, in P4. We've got Alpine, which it used to be Alfa Romeo back in the day.
Lotus? Oh, no, I was wrong.
Not Lotus.
And then another Tyrrell, then a Haas, because they were known as Haas.
But not Lotus, because Lotus went out of business in 1994.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Tyrrell, then we've got the Haas, then we've got the Williams, the Ferrari, then we've got the Jordan, the Haas, the Alfa Romeo, which used to be Sauber. And it stayed at Sauber because, of course, well, Sauber 1993 came in. We got McLaren, Ryan B in the Williams. We've got the Minardi. We've got the Red Bull, which used to be Jaguar, which used to be before that. It was Stewart Grand Prix team.
Oh, yeah, it was Stewart. Yeah, it was. Jackie Stewart's team. And he was team principal as well. So, you know the other teams by now as well. So here's the calm before the storm, Liam, as everybody is going on their final runs for today's qualifying. You've got to qualify as high as you can, obviously, for the race. Even though there's more overtaking opportunities around here than most other circuits, they still want to get a good qualifying session. And just to let you know, by the way, next week we'll be heading to the French Grand Prix. It will be another sprint format next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So this is the last race in a while before we go to a sprint race. So, well, they've got to score as many points as they can this week to maximise their chances in the sprint. Next week, I'm not looking forward to France at all next week. But when we're racing, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There we go. I always get bad luck around France, but... everybody is going to be on runs now. We've got Maverick heading through into Woodcote. We've got Slayer who's heading towards Cops. Oh, invalidation. Yeah, same thing as what we saw quite a few people do in today's qualifying session so far. As Gels reset to 1. Chill is going through just going through Abbey now as well. A few yellow flags. There's probably people moving out the way. So... We will ride on board with people as they cross the line to either start their laps or finish their laps. There's quite a few people probably going to go into the pits soon if they abort that. So we've got YHYY, Ghost, they're about to start their runs. We've got a Haas going to start their run, which is not Nantram, it's the other one of Slayer, that's it, Slayer, who is, I think, he's backed off his run. He's backed off his run because obviously he invalidated through Cops Corner. Ryan B, well, both Mercedes are about to go on their runs, actually. They're quite close together. We've got a Red Bull of Cam, who's about to start his final run, 16th at the moment, but I'm sure he would definitely want higher than that. But I think there's a train of cars heading towards Stowe Corner, and I will be interested to see who will be the one to come out on top. Who's the first person to complete their final runs, Liam? Can you keep an ear out?
Not Maverick, it's... I don't know, is it Chill?
It might be Chill, actually.
Yeah, well, it was, but until he did that. So it's not Chill. Jasper does not improve either. Neither does Chill. We've got, got one of the Hasses coming through the last couple of corners right now. That might be even Naramsam. He's 3 seconds down on a lap time.
Matt Tibos was going to go on a run, but he spun. Be careful. Let's hope he's still ghosted. Come on. Get the car pointed in the right direction. There you go. He moves out the way. Good boy. Good boy.
Marty, that is P1 so far for him. Can anyone else improve and jump up? Crisscross the line, then goes up to P3. That's the lap time he wanted. What about Ghost? He was very quick earlier on the first couple of flying laps, but just didn't get the lap time finished. He crosses the line, stays 14th. Mick would dearly love to be up the front. He's so far in the Ferrari. You've got 1 and 2 cars. Mercedes cross the line then. That is Matty stays in 6th position. The other Mercedes and Ryan B cross the line right now. He goes up to 6th alongside his teammate. We've got, I think it might be Cam up to the line. Goes up to P6. And then we've got Mick in the Ferrari then. 6100ths up on his lap time. Not looking like he's setting the timing screens very much alive right now. The Ferrari then. Last time he came through the last corner, he dropped it. Through he comes, and Ferrari, the most winning constructor with 18 victories in Formula 1. The most winning constructor at the British Grand Prix. Where can Mick go? Only good enough for 8th then. 2nd and 8th for them so far. We've got a few other cars.
That's it.
Coming through. We got MCR. He's on a backed out that because he stopped behind an AlphaTauri.
That is it for qualifying, Liam. Yeah, Marty is on pole position by... Well, it's quite close between 1st and 4th position. Now, we're going to be in for a cracking race. Now, when Marty qualified well in Monza, he won the race. So, will history repeat himself tonight with the British team of Aston Martin? And what a tribute it will be to have Aston Martin be on top in the race. That'll be amazing, not going to lie. But... we will see. We'll go through your qualifying results. Marty on pole, Jasper 2nd, Chris in 3rd, Chill 4th, Matty in 5th, Cam in 6th, Brian B, the 2nd of our British drivers in 7th. Obviously, Chill's our leading British driver at the moment. Mick in 8th, Joe in 9th, Slayer in 10th. Then we got MCR, Harry F, Najram, YHYY, Ghost, Ryan, Belshaw, Maverick, Major, Matt Tibbles, and a boat. We do have, Liam, a full grid, which is very nice to see. And I know you won't be able to see at the moment because I changed screen. What will the weather be?
Cloudy.
It is cloudy, so... and obviously I see dry tyres on people's garages. Now, I'm going to throw you on the spot there. Do you think there'll be a chance of rain? Well, Silverstone, it rained in real life. And we know with British weather, it is prone to rain quite a lot. But... what do you think, Liam?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see Silverstone, of course, in the British countryside. It's always a chance of raining. By the way, we'll go over to my little fact sheet, by the way, of British Grand Prix winners. There's been a lot of them. Lewis Hamilton, unsurprisingly, the most successful driver at the British Grand Prix with 8. Jim Clark and Alain Prost with 5 respective. Nigel Mansell has won 4 times. A couple at Brands Hatch, I think 1 at Brands Hatch, that's 1986. The rest at Silverstone, Jack Brabham, Nicky Lauda, Michael Schumacher have run 3. A load of them won 2. Alberto Ascari, Gonzalez, Sterling Moss, Jackie Stewart, Fittipaldi, Villeneuve, Coulthard, Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, and Mark Webber have all won 2 races during their time. In terms of constructors, like I said earlier on, Ferrari have won 18 times there. 51, 52, 53, 54, 56, 58, 61, 76, 78, 1990, 98, 2002, 3, 4, 7, 2011, 18 and 2022. McLaren's and Williams 2nd and 3rd most respective teams around here with 14 and 10. Mercedes with 9 so far, most of them of course coming in the decade, because 1955 and then of course pretty much everything in the 2010s and 2020 so far. Lotus have got 8 victories here, Red Bull with 3, Dallage with 2, Maserati with 2, Cooper, Tyrrell and Aredo also with 2. Of course, Dallage and Maserati won it before the F1 Championship. We are going off British Grand Prix. Of course, Brooklands raced, hosted the British Grand Prix back in the 20s all the way up till World War II. In fact, early in the 20s, I think the early 1900s as well. In fact, I think it's one of the first purpose-built racetracks, because doesn't exist anymore because there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the middle of the 1930s and early 40s, and it doesn't exist anymore. Well, it does exist. You can go there. I do recommend it if you are, of course, wanting to go through British heritage. It is a beautiful place, but there you go. Ferrari, of course, as well, most winning engine manufacturer, ahead of Ford and Mercedes with 14 apiece as well. So Ferrari, the most successful constructor, the most successful engine. Britain, though, most successful driver then, Lewis Hamilton. Of course, with Mercedes, won 8 races, 2008, 14, 15, 16, 17, 2019, 20, and 2021 as well. But we've got a few British cars, a few British drivers, but only one crown can be won today, and that, of course, the British Grand Prix. Abode then, the last car on the grid, slots himself into the last position, then here, and then in just a few moments' time, we'll be ready to go then for the British Grand Prix. 3, 4, 5, look, but never stare, because the British Grand Prix is underway. Then it looks like a very good start then from the Ferrari, the McLaren. They're trying to come up the inside, but it's the AlphaTauri who's got a storming start of show that the Englishman up in a second position there. One car not moving. A boat has had a terrible start. Off the start of this race then, already drama in the background then, but it's Marty leading a boat then comes a Ferrari in third, then comes Chris in fourth as they come through, and spins, chill, the Englishman's been sent around then at the beginning of the British Grand Prix, the Alfa Romeo getting involved there as Harry F takes avoiding action, melee of cars going wide there as they come down entry, but Marty leads them from Jasper in second, but has the British hopes been crushed by that number 1? So far, a boat off the road as well as drama as well. Chris there having a bad stop, and Chill's going to have the auto work for all then. Has got another car off there. There's YY in the wall. So already drama at the beginning here in Silverstone. But the man who got the good start all the way up to second finds himself down in 16th position, 17th position already, and he is absolutely livid.
He must be as well. It's a bit of a shame as well. You can get caught up in turn 3. It's so easy to lose it and have an instant there heading towards entry and towards the Wellington straight. But it's Marty that leads on the hard compound of tyres, believe it or not. And then we've got Jelly, who's got past Matty on the hard as well, into 5th place. Interestingly, that 2 drivers have gone for the softs. That is Pastor Jasper and Can. They're finding themselves 2nd and 4th respectively. So they've had a good start as well. Yellow flag, that is a boat, I believe, that's spun. So his race has gone from bad to worse right now as well. But we can start to see Jasper start to close on the Aston Martin of Marty then as well. Jasper then quite close in at the championship. Still got a lot to live up to. But he's nowhere near the top 10 in the standings. But Jasper, here he comes then, through Brooklands to the left-hand side. He sticks then as he cuts to the right, as a boat has retired in the pit lane, as Jasper is your race leader at this moment in time for the British Grand Prix. Cam, no, chasing down Ryan B, who's also had a good start. Let's look at positions game. Most people opted for the medium compounder tyres. That's Slayer down to Chill, and also Bo, but he retired. Chris YYY on the hard, as well as Jelly, Matty, Mick, MCR, Nandram, and Marty. Obviously, Ryan B's also on the mediums as well. And then, like I said, we had 2 people on the soft compound tyres. Meanwhile, that's an Alpine. That's an Alpine.
Do you know what I mentioned earlier, Jess, about Alpine? Hopefully, you're going to have a better British Grand Prix. It's not gone well so far for one of them again. I should stop saying things about Alpine. Don't worry, though. Matt's in 11th, so he's on the... well, he's in the points. Oh, another car
Maverick.
off. As that's Maverick, the AlphaTauri, now around it is. So, that's a big off. Who was that? Was that Jelly? That is Jelly. That's a riding accident on the exit of Stowe. Safety car, very much unsurprisingly called. That was a monumental shot.
That's a VSC.
Only a virtual. That was horrendous.
Ryan B went off as well.
What just happened to Jelly there? He suddenly just came across. Delta glitch.
Ryan B went off as well. Ryan B went off as well.
Uh-oh. Harry had 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
I think that was an illegal overtake, I presume, because otherwise, if you go under Delta in VSC, I believe it's a drive-through. So yeah, it must be an illegal overtake. But Yeah, I didn't see where Jelly went off, but
Chill,
I saw
5 seconds as well for ignoring yellow flags. So
that
yeah, we've
was
got a
chill
major
again.
Delta glitch.
That is a major issue at the moment, but which will cause, and you can't get it removed, I don't think either, because you have to serve it in the pit lane. But I'm not sure the rules in LOE. It may be different in different leagues, so we'll see how long this VSC goes on then. These hards, don't forget, could last for the entire race. If you pit around lap 6, lap 7, well, lap 7 I would say, end of lap 7 from the soft tyres, you can go onto the hards to the end. And you may want to do so if you're on the mediums as well. But you may want to obviously stretch your mediums out so you could push on those hards a little bit more. So, no overtaking at the moment. Positions gained then whilst we're on still under VSC. Major and Matt Tibos are gaining the most with 10 places. Ryan Belshaw's gained 6.
Marty.
Oh, Marty.
Sorry, Jess. Marty's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. Now, Ramsam also gets a 3-second time penalty. A lot of people running into trouble, but we are back underway then here at Silverstone. Jasper leads the way around then from Marty in second. Then comes Cam, the American, who would dearly love to win in the British Grand Prix. That would be something for the American then. Behind him, Matty. Then comes Mick in the other Ferrari, MCR. Then the Ramsam, Major, Matt Tibos, Ryan B. Then comes Harry F. Then comes Chill. Then down in 12th, Ryan B. The second is in 30th from Chris and Ghost, the British team. McLaren, though, to be fair, from New Zealand, running 14th and 15th. The Haslan in 16th of Slayer, Y8 to YY. And 17th, Maverick in 18th. 2 retirements. Jelly, who had a horrible accident down into Stowe, lost the rear end very early. Just seemed the car just wouldn't stop and flew into the wall very, very abruptly. And the Bode, who had issues before we even got underway, then he is out on that number 1. So 2 people out, Jess. 18 drivers remain, but it's 1 Ferrari at the top so far, and that is a Jasper, who presumably will be coming in at the round at lap 7 to 9. Historically, the soft tyres on this game do start to rev. As soon as you get above 30-40%, you really start to find it. But with Marty with a driver penalty, we'll expect to see him in the next 2 laps after this one. Cam as well behind. I will not expect him to be fighting too heavily with Marty right now, because it'll be a little bit pointless. He has got himself in a bit of bother. He has to stop nonetheless. So Cam knows right now he doesn't need to fight it too heavily. He knows he can be a little bit more circumspect about trying to pass him. Further down the field, we've got a few cars closing up. We've got Matt Tibos closing up on the back of Major. Is he thinking about a move down into Aintree Corner? No, he's not. Into the loop. My apologies. You now come into Aintree Corner, which is the left-hander right here, where we saw, of course, 2013. A load of issues down here in this section of the circuit. Of course, the only British Grand Prix that's had major issues with tyres. 2013, 2017, and of course 2020 as well. Of course, where we saw Lewis Hamilton's tyre implode on the final lap, which was a bit scary, but he still won because that man's just Jesus. He's immortal to anything. Matt Tibos closing up. I'm not going to look up the inside. Not very close enough to get any opportunity for the time being. However, he might run into him.
Oh, that's close. That's close. Oh, my God.
Went very wide out of cops there. Gained a lot of time. I think he might have damaged his car there, you know, Jazz. He really gave Major a fair old whack in the rear diffuser. So, if he has got that big, that's a shame. We expecting to see Marty in the pit lane this lap, I believe. We are, because he's in. So, in comes Marty, gets it nice and stopped, doesn't pick up a 5-second time penalty. So, Cam now up to second. So, it's Ferrari leads Red Bull, leads Mercedes, lead Ferrari then. As now Matty, should I say, up into 3rd position. Mick now up to 4th. MCR now into 5th position. Behind them there, that gaggle of cars then. The Ramsam in 6th. Then we've got really Major, Matt Tibos, Ryan, Harry, Chill, as well, all in a bit of their own squabble. So far, it is Matt Tibos who is the man on the aggressive right now, trying to close up to the back of Major. But when you look around here, well, first opportunity really down here, the Wellington Strait, of course, named after the Wellington Bombers, which of course used to be situated here at Silverstone as well. As you come down through into Brooklands, down into Lufkin, of course, Brooklands named after the Brooklands Circuit, which of course ran between 1906 and 1939. Well, let's see. Then is Mick Tebos. Got an eye up the inside there. Daddy the cops. Up the inside he goes. Pulls alongside the Alfa Romeo. Trying to hold it around the outside. Squeezed off the road on the outside line, but he's still there. They touch. They touch again. This isn't going to work, boys. What if you're going to have to back out? And around goes the Alpine. He's going to keep it out the wall. He very much might just hit the rear axle. But he'll get away with it. He'll get away with it. But there another car. Comes the Crupper. He's going to be himself in a bit of trouble. He's careful. Keep to the right-hand side. Lets him through. We'll have YHYY coming onto him. But Matt Tibbles get himself in a bit of bother. Around the outside goes the other Alfa Romeo. And there's the second Alpine now in trouble after I said earlier on they were hoping for a good afternoon. It's not worked. In comes Jasper. In comes Cam from your first and second.
Yeah, so they coming in then as expected at the end of lap 6 to set out the hard tyres, which will get to the end of this race. And I did a race around Silverstone along with my good friend Miss Evil Dragon, and the hards felt quite nice around it, as with many circuits on this game. But it took a while to get up to temperature, but after a few laps you were able to start pushing quite a bit. So the hards definitely the tide to be on for most of this race as Ryan Belshaw gets past Major. And by the way, we did ask about the weather earlier on, and it's dry for the whole race. So even if it's overcast at the moment, it's dry. But you never know, the game can suddenly change, as I found out quite a few times as they head towards Cops Corner once again. Up the inside, Jesus, chill. He's got the made the move stick. Nicely done from the Britishman. Good recovery so far, despite that spin earlier on. So it shows how quick he is around this circuit. What could have been, I think, for Chill if he didn't have that spin. I think he could have been fighting at least for the very top positions. But what is done is done. So as he tries to get a move through Stowe, which he does not. You can see he has better traction. Slayer gets past Ghost up to 11th position. Don't forget the top 12 in League of Europe score points. And if you do get fastest lap, you do get points as well. And Mark, also known as Old Score, has confirmed in the chat, if you do go into the pits to serve your 5-second penalty, you can't remove it. So
that's understandable there. Oh, big mistake there for Major on the outside. That is brave around the outside, through into the loop, round the outside and up the inside for the next corner. Major was sideways. Chill does not have any chill, but up the inside. Major's having none of it. Back through the inside then, the two drivers, they touch wheels then. On the exit of entry, they're going to go battling side by side down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Up the inside has the Alfa Romeo. The Alpha Tower on the outside line will hold the advantage, has the better traction, has the lesser Q line, and now can try and wallop away on the exit there. The Alfa Romeo fought heavily. You'll have the Williams coming up to try and take him, but the Englishman, they're of Chill, flying up through the order then, ahead of Major. F not too far behind as well, might try and challenge then, potentially down into Maggins and Beckett, but I think he'll back out of that one. Knows right now there's a longer race than this one. We're on lap 8 of 26, we've got some 19, 18 laps to go, but now Chill up into 6th position. Next up we'll have Ryan, is it Belshaw or is it just Ryan B?
Harry F going for a move, Liam.
Yep, around the outside he tries to go around the outside, might try the old switcheroo then, up the inside, but he'll be brave to go around the outside into the club chicane then. He might try it, but he'll be brave, backs out of it. We've got another car
Matt
now.
Tibbles.
Please don't tell me that's Matt Tibbles. It's Matt Tibbles who's gone around the Alpine drivers, which continue their rotten luck since I said about having good luck earlier on. Hasn't gone well
Typical.
for them. Chill looking up for another position in a few moments' time then. He'll have Ryan Belshaw, I believe it is then, next to line up.
Yeah.
Left to right. As he gets a bit close, he'll have the Wellington Straight. He'll have DRS. He saved a lot of his DRS. He isn't pushing it too heavily right now. He knows more than anything this race is coming to him bit by bit. Certainly as well. He's got the pace. He has the momentum. And let's see what he can do further down. Major from Harry, Chris from Ryan B, Len Slayer. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car battle. Major there holding the court in the bottle end from the English team behind them. Then really the English team behind them. And really the English team behind them, because Mercedes situated in Brackley. Not too, just a hairstone away from Silverstone as well, of course. Williams, which are, I believe, I can't remember where Williams are. Situated Grove and McLaren, which of course are situated in Woking. And as well, we've got
lead, battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead then as well. We've got a bit of contact further down the field. A lot of cars battling. Mickler getting close, but around the outside we've got Ryan B. We've got Chris Major getting themselves in a bit of battle as well. That was Major. Oh, was that a pit lane entry there? That was very cool to come into the pit. Major dives in, almost brake checks. Chris didn't mean to do that, but he comes in the pit lane. Ferrari versus Mercedes though up front. It is the German team situated in Britain. Don't forget 8 of the 10 teams. 7 of the 10 teams, I believe, situated in Great Britain as well. Ferrari, Italy, of course, Britain for, well, Mercedes. We've also got Aston Martin, Williams, McLaren, Red Bull as well.
Red Bull's in Milton Keynes, I believe.
Yeah, Milton Keynes as well, of course. And a few teams, and of course the Alpine team situated in Enstone. Well, the Enstone team, which it's more commonly known. Talking of the Enstone team, it's just spun as I mention it. It just has to happen.
Just shush.
Why does this keep happening when I mention the Alpine team or the Enstone team? They are just cursed forever.
I know. It's ridiculous. Is there another way we can call that team without saying them?
Renault.
Renault, oh god, no.
Or Lotus. You call them Lotus, they were Renault, they were Lotus.
Or the Alonso team.
El Plan. The El Plan team.
Yes, I will take that.
The El Plane. Well, it might be it's not El Plan, it's El Pain right now so far.
Yeah, El Pain, I think I say, for both Alpine drivers. Now, if I was Chill and Ryan Belshaw, I would come in as Ryan Belshaw on cue.
Jasper! Sorry to call over you, Jasper's dropped it on the exit of Chapel, and your former race leader now finds himself behind his rival, and now in comes the pits, a lot of them coming in. They might find themselves, Jasper, right now in a spot of bother.
Yes.
Let's see, though, where he's going to come out. He might just come out around the Haas Williams Mercedes.
Oh, Matt Tibos, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Not good at all.
I think Jasper's gonna come out really close between these guys there. As they come through turn number 1, he'll just come out ahead of the Williams. That spin nearly cost him a lot of time, but now that does mean, I believe, regarding we don't get a safety car right now, that Cam does lead the British Grand Prix in the Red Bull M, the American driver, trying to take another victory. One, of course, the American leg at COTA and Miami. Trying to take another victory. I believe your
championship leader.
Yeah, you're right. It's your championship leader, isn't it? Up front right now, of course, supporting the Queen and Country as well, running a pink-purple helmet as well, of course, in memory of course, which was the Platinum Jubilee earlier this year.
I know quite a few people are wearing black helmets tonight as well, and there's some people that are running the white. I think I know Matty's wearing a white helmet, which is fair enough. It matches the delivery. And yeah, we've got Chill in the pit. So's Harry F. Will Maverick's got to follow suit? If he no, he's not. So he's going to go for the overcut then. We'll see if that works. But bearing in mind, Liam, that the pit lane lost time around here. One of the longest on the calendar. 27.5 seconds. So
that was a guess.
That was a good guess, to be honest. You were very close by 0.5 of a second. 5/10 actually. Jasper, fastest lap. But where is Chill going to... So both Cam and Jasper got ahead of them. Ryan Belshaw ahead of them.
Served his 5 seconds, Jess. Remember that one as well. So he does no longer have a penalty. He comes up ahead of Ryan B behind Major. But Ryan B, is he going to have a think about a move in the next couple of seconds? He gets very close to the back of the AlphaTauri. He has the McLaren up behind him. Chill's going to have to burn some ERS, I reckon, through here because that Mercedes might try and come up the inside. Doesn't think of it. That isn't close enough either. And now let's see Chill, who has got a lot of pace, can try and bolt away, but he has to be careful, those cold tyres. What's up for the McLaren then? Trying to come up the inside as well, the exit of Luffield. There then, that is Ghost then side by side with Ryan. They're both going to try and get a bit of a toe then from the Alpha Tauri, and who's going to get the toe? Most certainly it's going to be Ryan Bearsy. Ballards a bit of ERS as well as Marty's has gone around the outside into Stowe around Maverick, who's going to come in the pit lane as well. But so far, things starting to fall into a place for some. Meanwhile, this gaggle of cars from 13th downwards, and Ryan. Yeah, Maverick's in, but here comes Ryan. Which way is he going to go, right or left? He's going to go for the inside line. Chill's not going to battle this too heavily right now. He might try and come back up the inside or try and get DRS for the next time around. Jasper, fast lap of this race. Yet again, then, he is flighting the timing screens up there. Here at Silverstone, legless race from pretty much the beginning up to where he spun. Minus the fact that he wasn't leading because others haven't stopped, but he was the net race leader. Cam's inherited that 5-second gap so far he's got then. So Cam can afford to take a little bit of breathing space right now. He can afford just to bed those tyres in. Don't wear them too heavily. Just get him to the end of this race. You're on the hard side. We'll go to the end of this race from here. But so far, we've got a few people still yet to stop. Mick leads this race from Matty in second. MCR in third. And Ramsam up in fourth position. Chris in fifth. Y8. Marty, and then of course your race leader Cam closing up bit by bit on the back of those top guys as well. 9 seconds away, and so far in terms of how far exactly off he is I believe around about 27 seconds. So Mick, in theory, according to my Jess AWS, should come out in the lead. However, they won't, because it does say 27 seconds, but we are counting people slowing down and stopping in the pit lane, so it's a bit longer than that. In and out, of course, around about 32 seconds. Damn, a big tank stabber. He looks like he's struggling right now with those hard tires. They do not seem to be biting very well. Jasper, meanwhile, he's definitely biting those tires in. That gap closing a bit, but 31 to 31 seconds. So both even lap times. But up front, Mick with 1.8 seconds from Matty in second, MCR in third. The Haas follows suit in fourth. We're going back to that battle, meanwhile, further down the field, and it is Chill, Ryan, Slayer is, Ryan's now back behind Chill, I think, actually.
Nantram, 3-second penalty. So, he's got a lot to deal with now whilst he was battling with MCR, so not good. 4 people with time penalties right now. So, that most of them will be added to the end of their race time. Ryan B's not close enough to Chill on this occasion, as Chill is starting to pull away. He's getting quite comfortable with his tyres, isn't he, Chill?
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, they are getting to grip. Chill, of course, down in 12, had that issue earlier on. He's still in shot. Naramsam is done. That's Matty in the pit lane. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Another driver then. So that will not matter too much because he'll serve that just at the end of the race. So he can't get it removed because speeding the pit lane like that is, of course, against a wrong set of medium tyres. On goes the next, well, the last 10 laps of this race. It's flown by pretty quickly then here itself. So we are waiting for your top 4 or 5 drivers to come in. Where is Maddie going to come out compared to Cam? I wonder. It's going to be pretty close actually between these two. Exit someone. He'll come out behind Cam, but he should come out ahead of Jasper. I think. Exit the pit lane then. So here is Matty. Behind him, you'll see Jasper. And he's ahead of him then by a couple of seconds. So, you know what? Saying that, Mick might be in a chance of winning this race.
Mick still might win this race because of that tyre delta between the soft, mediums and the hards is around about 6 tenths. So, if Mick could just about, even if he's just behind Cam, I'm almost certain Mick's going to have the tyre advantage to be ahead. So, Mick could do well. I think anyone on the memes that's around about a decent distance, so MCR, Mick, Matty, I think they could still do well, while Matt Tibos is adding to his woes this evening, and he's got another penalty. And saying about Mick, he's in the pits, and he doesn't speed into the pit lane because he's a good boy. To be fair, he wants to add to his podium streak because he got a podium last week. He got P2, but he wants to do one better. He wants to get a race win today, and he's looking like one of the favourites right now. So he comes in, set of mediums, will get to the end quite comfortably. Chris is in as well. So he follows Mick in. We'll expect white, Nance Ram. So where's Cam? I think it's going to be quite close, you know, because Cam is strong on those hard. Mick may just be behind, but I'll double check that. So here comes Cam then. Then there's Mick. It's going to be tight.
Just out behind.
Just behind. I did say he would be just behind. Yellow flag. Ryan Bellshot is out of the race.
Safety car.
And that's bad timing for Mick. If he left it one lap later, he would have still been the lead and would have gone on medium. So
that's a big off again. That's another car that's had a big mistake down there on the last couple of corners. So he's got on the curb, it looks like. Carl's
Hamilton straight, it looks like.
Yeah, same place, of course. Kevin Madison went off there. Remember, was it 2020? I think it was 2020. 2019 or 20 had a big off down there.
Yes,
so it's one of those corners. But I think that means MCR, in theory, will inherit the lead of the British Grand Prix then.
We will have to wait and see. The safety car pit lane lost time. If you're in a safety car, of course, you lose less time. So as long as he doesn't speed in the pit lane, don't speed. Yes, okay, he's not sped. Good boy, good job. So
it's like, is MCR a dog? That sounded like you're saying he was a dog.
I said good boy, good job, like he was.
It just sounded like that's how I imagine I talk to a dog.
Okay.
He's got a 5-second time penalty, so let's see. Set of soft. No, not a set. There is a set of soft tyres for someone. Who's that? Is that an Alfa Romeo coming for a set of softs?
No, it's a Haas, and someone has gone for a spin, and it is Matty Voss.
Yeah, I think he's got floor damage. It is the Alfa Romeo Jets coming in for a set of soft tyres. In comes Cam.
Softs don't make it to the end, so they can't.
Remember, we are going to have 3 laps of safety car. So, in theory, they roll a set of softs. You do it for a few laps, you can get to the end. Cam's gone for a set of mediums. So he's going to come out down in 8th position. So MCR leads this race from the Ramsam in 2nd, Mick in 3rd, then comes Matty Whitehates, then comes Chris, Marty, then comes Chill on the set of hard tyres, Major Ryan B, Harry, then comes Cam. That's really not worked for him. Jasper down in 13th position. Slayer's gone for a set of soft tyres, as well as Ghost as well. I believe the AlphaTauri going for a set of soft as well. So a few people going for the softs. I think
some people had no other choice, because otherwise they would have got swamped, I think, for people that went on the mediums. So yeah, MCR, the consistent driver, could win this race. And there was a few people in the chat saying they want MCR to do well. Mark's one of them. Someone else saying Vamos MCR, which is Go MCR. So there we go. And Nansram, it's going to be tough for the softs to get to the end, but I think they could just about do it. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were racing, because my tyre management is absolutely awful around this circuit. But obviously there's different driving styles. Their tyre management may be a lot better than mine, which hence why they've probably gone to the soft tyres, or maybe they don't know about the strategy at all. So we've got not that long to go to the end of this race, bearing in mind we've got Division 1 on at the same